Frank?
Yes.
How old are you?
23.
23.
Yeah, why?
I'm 47. 47 years old. You know how I stayed alive this long? All these years? Podcast. The spectacle of podcast. Somebody steals from me? I listen to a podcast. He offends me? I listen to a podcast. He rises against me? I sit down, relax, and listen to a podcast. That's what preserves the order of things. Podcast.
But you're not 47.
Is that Bill the Butcher?
That's Bill the Butcher talking to his surrogate son, Amsterdam.
His surrogate son is
I've
real
always
son.
wanted to have
Were
a
you
son
watching?
named Amsterdam.
Just wanted you to
It's
say
the perfect name for you.
We're already just... All right, fuck. Hello, welcome.
Welcome to the Chronic Canon,
Get out of here. Leave the balls
where
behind.
we smoke movies and we talk weed.
Sure are.
We're live in...
What? That was not grammatically correct in response to what I just
Sure
said.
are.
We're smoking movies. No,
You said where we smoke movies and
we talk weed.
And
Sure
I said sure are.
Sure do.
No, are.
No.
if
We
I
are
said
smoke
we're,
movies
I
and
said
talk
if we're
weed.
smoking movies and we're talking weed,
We are.
then that would apply. But I said where we smoke movies
fuck-
and we talk weed.
Sure are.
We're live in our ears, not in yours.
Yes.
And if you don't like heat, I'm sorry, but you gotta fucking go.
You do have to leave.
It's a requirement.
But it's okay if you haven't seen it. That's fine.
You get a free
stay.
pass.
You can stay.
We're doing it for your benefit.
It's also
Uh,
okay if you don't smoke weed.
Yeah, that's chill.
Yeah.
Man, we do forget that one.
You'll get a
'Cause,
contact
like,
high
we
off
don't
us because
smoke
we're pretty
weed.
fucking
It's all
high.
a ruse.
I'm mildly high.
No, I'm pretty high.
I'm a little less than I was before. Also, we spoil movies a lot. Not
Yeah.
even just the movie we're talking about today. Just random
Like
movies.
randomly.
There will
Like
be
maybe
lots of
maybe like
spoilers.
6 or 7 episodes ago where Frank got frustrated because I said spoilers and then he just spoiled the ending of like 5 movies in a row. I still think about that. That hurts for people.
We haven't done that.
Hey man, he's
Again.
got to go scorch earth with it sometimes, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Scorch Earth spoils a bunch of movies for you?
Yeah. No, you got to scorch earth and spoil a bunch of movies for everybody.
What is that
I don't know.
reference to? What's Scorch Earth?
I don't know. I was just rolling with it.
It's just a phrase to
I feel like I've heard
you
that.
know
Scorch the earth.
represent like how he's just going to do all of this at once, get it all out of the
okay,
way.
I was just making sure there wasn't like a movie called Scorched
No,
Earth
no.
or something.
no.
Yeah,
There
I
should
gotta
be.
check what you fucks.
That's a good title, Scorched Earth.
That is a
Can I
good
get one
title.
for Scorched Earth, please?
We trademarked it. Back off.
Scorsese, if you try and make a movie called Scorched Earth,
Well, that's okay.
yeah,
He
okay.
can.
He's
You can
allowed.
take whatever ideas you
Or
want
Thelma
from
can.
us.
Yeah.
But you know, we're not going to talk too highly of Thelma today. But we're not.
Why
there yet.
not?
Well, 2 out of the 3 of us might not be.
Well, that's fair. We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Eventually. You
First-
can also contact
Oh.
us at our email
Yeah,
at thechroniccan@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter, and you can direct message us there to shame us for not liking Thelma's work on Gangs of New York, specifically Frank and I.
Where
I'm
can you
Jesse.
No. Where can you contact us?
Thechroniccan@gmail.com.
Nope.
No,
You said that one. You never said the
I
Twitter.
said at Chronican.
No, you didn't. I didn't hear. If
I
you
didn't.
did,
I
you said
probably
it.
didn't say
If
it.
you did, you said it like really fast.
Yeah. Or we're just too high. I don't know.
I said it.
Let
in
us
I said it
know.
in my ears, but not in yours.
Okay, well, it wasn't live at anyone in the ears that time.
Well, it was live in Jesse's head. All right, we're moving
It
on.
was
Live
live
in
in my
Jesse's
brain
head.
ears.
Right now,
Breers.
this little podcast here, we're doing the films of Martin Scorsese.
That's correct. That is how it's pronounced.
This
But,
is
well,
the
we're
Sassy
not.
Session.
Yeah,
This is the Sassy session. That's good.
that is
The
good.
Sassy Session.
The
I like
Sassy
that.
session.
Should
God
we-
damn it.
that's
There's
the
so many
nickname.
tongue twisters with Sassy.
Just
Man.
like how we're the Sassy, Safty, Sassy stands.
God,
Fuck!
you were so
Ooh,
close. I was
ooh.
like, you almost
You're honestly
nailed
way
it.
better
Yes.
than me, literally every
Almost
time.
went full
so.
hog with it, but not quite.
Did you hear that?
Oh yeah, that was
you left the edit.
that
in.
was Howie Bling. That just meant
Yes.
that we were 4 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Oh my god! But that was right after I said
You okay, but that was scary,
I
not
know.
funny. Literally, my heart fucking dropped.
Yes.
Why did you? Oh God!
I just
Hell
wanted to
yeah.
signify when we were 4 minutes and 20 seconds in. I
Hell
thought it would
yeah.
be funny.
No,
You know,
it's good. It's good. It was just like,
terrifying.
who's that?
I forgot it was going to happen too and went, wait, what was
Right
that?
I immediately. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
fourth
Howie.
voice. Fourth voice.
For the, Well, not the first time. We have had our friend Nick on.
Yeah, but he
And
does.
eventually we'll have
Yeah.
more people on.
Yeah,
we can't
but
have
Nick
Howie
was
on.
physically.
You know
in
how
the
we said we
room.
spoil movies on this podcast? We're not going to spoil Uncut Gems, though. Though that may have just been somehow inadvertently.
Yeah,
a
'cause
spoiler
Howie
for
can't be
Uncut
here.
Gems.
He's in the trunk.
He's
Exactly.
a fictional character. That's why.
Exactly.
He's not real.
It's okay.
Adam Sandler
It's
is here
okay.
though. Welcome.
Hey!
Yabba, yabba, doo.
Oh, yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Hey, hey.
What have we done? What
We
have
really
done?
do. We like you, Adam, for the record. We
Yeah,
do.
fuck yeah.
We're Sandler stands. The
Yeah, but
sassy,
you know what?
safty, sassy Sandler stands.
Oh,
Do we
no.
have to
I don't
add
know.
another S?
Eventually Stanley will get in there.
The
But we'll save
safty,
that.
Stanley, sassy Sandler
It's
stands.
too much.
Anyone with the list is gonna hate us.
That's very
Fat-
true.
I'm not gonna make fun of them.
Yeah.
Who?
People with the list.
Oh,
It was about to roll off his tongue. He called himself though, perhaps.
who? Mike Tyson? Whenever I think of lisps, that's just who I think of.
I know.
I
was
think
about
of
to
the
say,
Wells Fargo wagon.
I always
I
think of
think
the meme
about-
where it's all the Kiss makeup faces on Mike Tyson. It says Kith.
So we
I've never seen that.
I'll find it real
I'll
quick.
find
It's pretty
it real
good.
quick. I got it.
So I wish we could somehow segue into the fact that there's a S in Leonardo DiCaprio's name, but there's really not. So we can't like lisp our way
Leonardo
through Leonardo
DiCaprio.
DiCaprio.
There is no S.
De Niro, DiCaprio.
That is definitely a
Scorsese's
tie-in.
got a thing.
He likes his death.
He likes his does.
His death.
You like dogs?
You like busting my
So
balls?
wait. So
Speaking of Guy Ritchie, we'll come
now
to him
I
again
remember
later.
one of you saying that De
No.
Niro is the one who was like, "Hey, this is your new boy,"
I don't know if he said this is your new boy.
Yeah,
I think he
I
just
think
said
he
you
said
should
that.
work with him.
Yeah, he recommended him.
because they were in what movie together?
This boy's life.
Yes.
What was it about?
I don't know.
His
Dickhead
life.
this
dad.
boy's life.
Yeah.
All right.
Young DiCaprio's all angered up because his dad or stepdad's a dick, and it's De Niro. I don't know. I've never
Classic
seen
De
him.
Niro.
You guys
classic
haven't seen it?
DiCap.
No,
Oh.
but I've heard the tales of DiCaprio's audition. He like lost his shit, and they all kind of like laughed at him. But they were like, "Jesus, kid, calm down. Like, good job."
Or like you freaked out, or
Yeah.
like he was
He just like let loose and went off script, and they were just like, "All right, shit, man." He was like 13. They're
You just
like,
see him in Revolutionary Road.
"Fuck you." I think he's been that way forever.
Pretty
A-
much,
a
yeah.
kid looking at movies, going, "So that's acting, huh?"
Well, he is a bona fide movie star.
He sure is.
He is a bona fide movie star. How do we all feel about Leonardo DiCaprio as an actor, even including like our current knowledge of him, like all the way through his career up to now? Like, what are our feelings on DiCaprio as a?
I've
an
always
actor.
like admired him. I thought he was cool. Like I've never like I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head of like a DiCaprio movie where I was like, except for Great Gatsby, but that's because just that story is boring. It's like, woe is me. It's like, yeah, you have all
Yeah.
this money, but not love.
Are you talking about him specifically or the movie?
Yeah, like the movie.
Mm.
I'm trying to
I
think
don't
of like
remember him being particularly good or bad in it.
I
He
don't
played
try-
DiCaprio.
Seems like
it's-
one he'd
yeah.
nail in.
He's another one of those actors that I think does almost similar to Cage. Is like you got to know what you're getting when you get DiCaprio because he's a very specific performer, and that there is no one like him.
Mhm.
But he always does some variation, or for the most part, of the same sort of thing that he does. Sometimes adding an accent to it, and sometimes going a little crazy with it. But most of the time, I feel like it's that like classic DiCaprio movie star role where he is basically playing some form of his own persona in a way,
Yeah.
or at least the public persona that we perceive DiCaprio as, or the star persona rather.
But I mean, I feel like he also sometimes does go out of his way to break that.
That was certainly in recent years, especially like
Yeah.
The Revenant was a huge one.
Well, the Revenant was like, come on,
Yeah,
How
give me
am
an
I-
Oscar.
just give it here.
You know what? I still am a Revenant lover. I don't care.
Is it bad?
People don't like it for some reason.
I need to watch it again.
I don't get it. I literally don't get it sometimes. I'm just like, what do you want then? You want an action movie? It should be like that.
No,
Michael
it
Mann loves it,
completely
doesn't he?
it
Yeah, but I
completely
mean, he's-
subverted my expectations in the best way. I was like, whoa, already? Oh, this is just the rest of the movie. Cool. Nice.
And I think he's pretty damn good in
Just
it.
fucking crawling in the snow for 45 minutes.
Yeah, true.
I understand the whole like that's not acting. It's like, yeah, but I mean he's still doing
Well,
it.
you could apply the same thing to Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York.
Hey, you
Exactly.
guys know how I feel about Method.
We know.
We know.
You're the biggest fan.
Hacks. All of them.
How many Oscars you got?
3.
What is Daniel Day-Lewis? All right. Anyway, So how do we? Nobody said how they feel. I like
him.
I said
I think
was
I
like,
like Leo.
I like him as a star.
So far, Leo's one of the only actors that we've like. Besides just recently with Nick Cage, he's like the only actor that we've encountered in the Scorsese canon that like I've grew up on, where I've like I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio movies in like pretty much every stage of my life. You know,
That makes sense because now we're in a more modern period.
Right.
Yeah.
I think DiCaprio's done his best work as an actor with Scorsese.
I think I agree. Outside of two, The Revenant and Catch Me If You Can.
I was about to say, Catch Me If You Can is really
that came
good.
out the same year as Gangs in New York.
It did.
They were competing movies at the time.
I feel like, and then The Departed actually be my third throw in there. We'll get there, but I think those three make up his like best use of who DiCaprio
Been
is.
hearing
Right.
about the
And you
Departed
could
for
probably
6 months.
swap
we were
out
talking
Wolf of
about
Wall
the
Street and
potential that Aviator could be the
Yeah, we got to
the clinch pick, but I don't know. I haven't seen it. It's the last one I got to see.
next week.
Come and see. Leonardo DiCaprio. I gotta like his young Leo is something that I think is underappreciated. Everyone always thinks about Titanic, but I really like.
And that's
What's
pretty young,
Eating-
Leo.
Yeah, but I like What's Eating Gilbert Grape like a lot. Like I remember seeing it as a kid and just being like, "Damn, like this is a good movie."
That is kind of forgotten at this point.
And it's
but
like,
it wasn't.
whoa. And so I feel like he's always like he's one of those rare dudes who's like exuded excellence throughout his entire career, but maybe just like as a movie star, I feel like. You know, movie stars kind of get a bad rap. Like, you cannot do that great when you're in so many goddamn movies all the time.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
Leonardo
sorry.
DiCaprio
You know
isn't
what?
in that many movies.
not anymore.
Yeah,
He's in
like
52.
Recent years.
That's a lot of movies. I know
No,
Daniel Day
well,
has.
no, that's
you're looking
that's
at
according to
that.
Letterboxd, and that's like a lot of stuff that doesn't actually count as a real
Yeah.
movie.
There's docs, there's shorts, there's random things, whatever. He hasn't been in that many. I mean, he's still been in a lot. Don't get us wrong.
He's got an odd career when I actually take a look over his full filmography and like the people he's worked with over the years and things. It's interesting.
Have either of you seen Growing Pains ever? Because
I used to watch the show when I was a kid, but I
Really?
never watched any episodes.
Is he
with
on
him.
it?
That's where he got his like real start. That's crazy. He's only 45.
Only?
I mean, he's been around for so long.
How old's Brad Pitt?
He's got to be like 55,
He's older for sure.
56,
Damn, son.
11 years older. Damn, but he looks better.
Oh yeah, he does.
Fuck, Brad Pitt's so
Because
fucking
Brad Pitt's
hot.
an action star.
Regardless
Leo's
of your
never
feelings
been
on
like.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he looks good.
He does.
Leo never really has been like an action star.
Well,
You know?
Inception and The Revenant.
I said action star.
Body of Lies.
Also,
Bad
is The Revenant
movie.
an action movie, dude?
I mean, basically.
Legally,
existential
legally
action
sure,
adventure.
Yeah.
legally sure, but like,
What are we talking about, man? All I care about is the law.
oh god, what happened to ACAB? Get out of
Yeah.
here!
No, ACAB. ACAB. How do you guys feel about DiCaprio compared to De Niro at this point in general?
Not fair.
Not fair?
Not fair.
Because De Niro's one of the best and DiCaprio's
One of the
trying.
best.
Two completely different
He had
performers,
some
which
big
is so
shoes.
odd
He had some
why-
big shoes to fill, and he was right next to Daniel Day-Lewis and Cameron Diaz.
I'm not talking about gangs. I'm talking
Well,
about
because
as a
Gangs
whole.
in New York, no one knows that he's Scorsese's boy now.
Yeah.
Like,
just
we
talking
only
about
know that he's
But
Scorsese's boy.
As a
'cause he's
whole,
been his
yeah, I'd
boy.
say he's on par with De Niro's.
on
running.
par.
I don't
But
know
I
about
also
that.
wait. I can't say that. I've only seen one.
No, we're talking about
As a whole career. Like DiCaprio of what you know at this point and De Niro of what you know at this point as a whole.
Oh,
Not
for
just-
sure on par. I think I don't know a lot of De Niro's younger.
par?
Yeah, probably better.
I've
never seen-
blasphemy.
I've never seen like De Niro's like young career, but like
Yes, you
Fuck
Yes, you have.
young career, as in like fucking 15, 16 years old. Like De
He didn't
Niro.
have a career at 15,
like
16.
Oh, so I've seen his whole career.
I mean,
You saw the start almost. Mean Streets is very close to the front.
Mhm.
He only
But
did
I
like
haven't
3
seen The
movies with the Paul
Godfather.
prior.
right, Godfather.
One Godfather.
Hi, Mom. And you'll be caught up.
Greetings.
That's all I've seen.
But okay, well if that's the case, then yeah, DiCaprio's better by far. He's got a way better younger career, more heavy hitters, and he's consistently good. I've never had to like be like, "Are you okay?"
The tides have changed. This is going to be your wave of Ceci.
I'm waving the flag.
Uh-oh. I don't think they compare at all. I think,
No, because what's the name's fucking DiCaprio's given different types of roles.
I do think DiCaprio
No, because
overall is pretty great.
if
I do at the end of the day.
if these movies were made in the 70s, De Niro, well, no, that's not true actually, because Gangs in New York was actually conceived of in the 70s originally with Malcolm McDowell in the Amsterdam role.
Wolf of
and
Wall Street hadn't happened yet in the 70s.
Robert De Niro as Bill the Butcher. So Scorsese knew that De Niro was the darker personality.
Maybe that's why this is the shift in Scorsese. He's going for good guys now.
Imagine if
Instead of bad
DiCaprio
guys.
was in Age of Innocence instead of Daniel Day.
I wouldn't have liked
Do
this,
you think
though,
that's a
but-
more empathetic,
Yeah.
Probably
He's
just
better at being soft.
nice, charming, sweet?
Daniel just comes off as like
Got a
ignorant.
nice face. They do make him look kind of gross in Gangs of New York at the front.
He's only 28 in Gangs in New York.
You're joking. That's crazy.
Why does he look so young?
I mean, 28 is
Well,
pretty
he's pretty
young.
young.
You don't look your age. Most people don't.
Wow.
But anyway, no, yeah, I don't think you can compare DiCaprio.
Yeah, that
and
probably
De
wasn't
Niro.
unfair.
No, but I mean, like in a real sense, like because they're such different performers. However, I do prefer De Niro as a performer than I do DiCaprio.
De Niro's an actor. DiCaprio's a star. He's a great he's probably the best at acting of like movie stars, maybe ever.
Well, Brad Pitt.
I feel like because
Brad
of,
Pitt is not a better actor than DiCaprio.
No.
Overall, I like Brad Pitt way more.
But
I would
what?
rather
I
watch Brad
disagree.
Pitt
I
all
disagree.
day.
Well, you'll probably
But
have,
he's
you'll have a
not
better chance of getting like
Dude,
a
you
hit.
gotta
Best
look at his
actor.
track record. He's got so many more better performances.
Does
but,
he?
But
Yes.
to say DiCaprio's not an actor, he's a star. It's fucked up.
No,
DiCaprio's
but he's
always
way more of a star than he is an actor.
Well, that's not his fault. It's not
I
like
didn't
he's
say
like,
it
I
was.
want to be a star.
But I
Because
don't know.
then
You
De
pick the
Niro's a
movies
star
you're in.
to an extent. And he's
Niro's
always
not a movie
and he said that he's
He
always
is.
trying to break his like, you know, he's not trying to be like any particular type. He's always looking for movies outside of his realm. That's an actor. A star would be in every like major movie. And maybe
I don't
you
know. I guess De Niro is more like a Brando, and DiCaprio's more like a
just because
James
he's
Dean.
Italian. It's just because he's Italian, and he's got fucking like sharp corners, and you guys are like, that's a man's actor right there.
No.
DiCaprio's a little bit more softer. You guys don't want to embrace him. It's okay.
Are you the one saying that?
I'm
Because
just
we
letting
didn't
you.
say that.
Yeah,
You're projecting.
it's all about projection, and this is what I'm picking up off of you too.
Excuse me? That's not true. I think you're picking that up from Vincent Gallo.
Oh,
Because he said that DiCaprio was the prettiest girl he'd ever seen.
I mean, he is pretty. What's
Sorry
wrong?
to DiCaprio if you're listening, and we're just roasting the shit out of you.
crying.
If
He's
you
crying.
know he's listening, and we're gonna have to give him a call after this because we feel bad.
I mean, Brad Pitt is great. I'm looking, but like most of the time, it feels like he's just cruising.
Okay, Burn After Reading.
Yep.
Fight Club even.
7.
7.
Ocean's 11.
Ocean's 11.
Moneyball.
Moneyball.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I haven't seen Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Not great.
12 Monkeys. He is
He
good.
is good. Okay.
What else?
Snatch.
What else is there?
Tree of Life.
He is amazing in Snatch.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I do think he's good in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
Ad Astra,
No.
Okay.
Wrong.
best movie of last year.
I guess. Maybe he is better.
No, I don't understand what's not.
12
what,
Years a
Like,
Slave.
why are you?
Get out of here.
Why are you? What's the difference between De Niro and DiCaprio in terms of acting chops?
I don't know.
Because I don't feel like De Niro gets to explore a lot of range.
Well, you've mostly only seen the Sessie and
Yes.
the Man, which is one.
Yes.
I
But
don't
you're
know. I
saying
think they
all I
both
need to
have
do
very.
is see
I think
two
they both
more
have
and
very
I'm caught
distinct
up.
personas, and I think De Niro's similar in the way that when you cast De Niro, you got to know what you're casting De Niro as too. He can't play every role, just like De Niro can, or DiCaprio can't play every role.
Nobody can.
But nobody can. Well, some people can. Philip Seymour Hoffman can.
Philip Seymour Hoffman can.
He's got him fucked up at some point.
No.
I'm not
And
speaking
I think
ill of
people
the
like
man.
Bob
Never.
Balaban
You guys are doing him
can.
a disservice.
And,
No,
you know-
Bob Elvin can do one very specific thing, and he's a literal god.
Well, okay,
for
like
it.
character actors. Like there are so many actors that are constantly never
but
playing leads.
even that, still, you kind of start falling into your like lane of like I can only be in the bit part.
Well, especially like there's people in this movie too, like John C. Reilly at an interesting point in his career.
Really weird point.
Yeah, I knew. He was one of those guys that reminded me of who's the other guy from Dumb and Dumber?
Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels. He's like where it's like, oh, I just thought you were a comedy guy. I didn't know you did like some serious roles
That's-
like beforehand
That's a really
in order
good,
to like make your way here. Like that. When I found out Jeff Daniels was known, like the reason people like love him is because of like his more serious roles. Like before I was born, I was like, oh shit, I thought
Like,
it was
what?
like, isn't there one where he plays like an army soldier, like army general or something?
I'm looking it up. I don't know. Not off the top of my head, I don't know. It's so hot in here, Jesse.
It's not
what am I
even.
supposed to do?
I don't know. I see no. I have no idea what you're talking about, Brandon.
Gettysburg?
No.
Gods and Generals?
That's like the 70s. Wait, are you talking about that Netflix show with Jeff Daniels where he plays a general?
Is there a Netflix show? I don't know. Just that's the reference that I was making. Jeff Daniels was somebody who was more serious. I didn't know that that was his thing before he got into like comedy.
Yeah, basically.
Jeff Daniels was on Godless, but I don't think.
I mean, it was like a big thing. Dumb and Dumber was like you can do this now too. Yes.
No
You were
doubt.
correct. You guys seen Speed? No.
I didn't know he was in Speed.
Hell yeah.
Brandon
he's
and
in
I have talked
Speed.
about watching Speed plenty of
It's
times.
Keanu Reeves' partner.
Or
That's
Speed
cool.
2,
Fucking
Cruise
rules.
Control.
He's
No.
also great in Something Wild.
He was great in something wild. But we're not talking about Jeff Daniels today.
We're talking about Gangs of New York.
And John C. Reilly. who
And
was a part
Leonardo
of that.
DiCaprio.
And Martin Scorsese.
And Daniel Day-Lewis.
And Thelma Schoonmaker.
And Cameron Diaz.
Has Cameron Diaz. And Schoonmacher. I'm pretty sure it's how you
That's what
guys-
I-
Schoonbacher.
We pronounce
Doobie
names
Docker.
right on this podcast.
Doobie Brothers. Thelma Doobie Brothers.
Gotta keep that funky Dixieland.
Gonna take your baby.
Come on, pretty mama, take me by the hand.
I don't give a shit.
Yes.
This should be in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
If I'm drunk
they
at that
not?
concert, I'm not singing the right
All
words.
right,
I'm just
so,
happy and I'm having
you
a
know,
good time.
We're fucking jumping and dancing around it because the two gents sitting in front of me, me being Brandon,
I'm Jesse.
I'm Frank. I don't know if I've done that.
don't really skate, don't really vibe with this movie that much. When I looked though, we all gave it roughly the same score.
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
I gave it a 3.5
And it's close.
because it was fine. It was good.
I thought you liked it a
liked
lot.
it.
It was dope, but
Put
like,
it high.
yeah, well, I didn't put high. I just put it above. But
I
under
think it's a
Casino.
really interesting point again in Scorsese's career. It's an odd movie in his whole canon. It definitely shakes things up a bit as far as what we've been seeing visually.
Yeah, to me, this movie felt like a big ass fucking just like a muscle flex. Where it's like, oh shit, dude, you
But
can
see,
do anything.
the weirdest muscle flex ever.
Mm.
It's almost like someone gave the dude a bunch of like mescaline or something and was like, "Go make a movie about the 1800s New York City. Go. Here's Daniel Day-Lewis.
What do you
Have fun."
mean? Gangs? Violence? Okay.
Betrayal?
I think I got it.
What's mescaline?
God.
Mescaline's a drug.
Well, no shit, but what does it do? And where can I get it?
It fucks you up. I don't know where
I think
you
it's
can
like
get
a
it.
psychedelic. I don't really know, actually.
I got a cactus downstairs. We can get some peyote from it, maybe.
Oh my God.
Psychedelic proto-alkaloid of the substitutive. What? These are a lot. Comparable to LSD and psilocybin.
It's
So
a fuck-
hallucinogen.
I think it's a cactus, too, actually.
Ooh.
It might not be. Nobody listen to me about drugs.
Either way, I
None of
think it's
us.
good.
Just do 'em.
They don't really like it that much, but we all think it's pretty okay.
What? You liked it.
I do.
You're pulling back because
I'm
we've been
not
down on
I
it.
pulling
think it is
back.
another movie
just-
that it's like it's the most fine movie ever.
4
made.
stars. 4 stars seems too high compared to what else I've given 4 stars in the Sessa canon.
Okay.
But like, it's not a 3. It's a so I
It
have
is.
to put it at 3.5.
I'm gonna say this: we started the movie late in the night. It's a nearly 3-hour movie, nearly only 10 minutes away from 3 hours.
I thought it was 20.
I think it's 10. Check it.
2:45.
I think it's
I
like
think it's 2:45.
I think it's 2:47. I think it's like 13 minutes shy.
Why is nothing loading? Why has my computer stopped working? It is 2 hours and 47 minutes.
There we go. But started pretty late. I was super, super, super high when we watched it, and this is an example of a movie. Personally, I know not everyone agrees here at this round table. Jesse,
Frank.
Brandon.
Jesse, don't think this is a good movie to watch high. And
Me
here's why.
Neither.
I think
It was hurt.
that it has too much going on, too many moving parts, too much information, too much narration
There's not
over
much
the information.
narration.
Oh, there's a lot of narration.
Not a lot.
Not compared to most sussies.
Not compared to most Sessies, but enough that's throwing a bunch of information at you. Like, these people are doing this, and these people are doing this, and this is
I
what
feel
this...
like that's
blah, blah,
usually
blah,
in
blah, blah.
conversation.
I mean...
Oh, no. I think later in the movie it does start kicking up more.
But
You're right, you're right.
regardless, it's a lot, and it's too much information for me to retain at the speed that it's being lobbed at me. this is where I'm going to now again say that this should have been longer, but I think it should have been cut up into a mini series of some kind to really get the full detail of the history and all that other stuff across, and make me like retain and immerse myself.
Start to care about the people.
Yeah, and care about the characters too, because I think that was an issue here as well. Though I don't think that's too much the fault of the performances. I think it's the lack of focus in the getting lost in the shuffle of all the minutia going on around the main narrative.
The weed helped me sort of latch on to all of the different things happening. I think that if I weren't so high, then I wouldn't have been as interested. Like, oh shit, like, all right, so what's going on with Cameron Diaz? Why is she like that? Oh, we're not gonna find out. I wonder what she is. Is she like some sort of aristocrat? Is she also a thief too? So maybe it's that I'm not picking up on
pickpocket.
Maybe it's not I'm not picking up on things fast enough, so that makes me get roped in more. Maybe that's why it's good to watch it high, because it's like, oh shit, I'm confused for a lot longer than the movie probably thinks I am. But hey, this is good. I'm picking it up piece by piece. And I don't know. I feel like my problem is that whenever it's like a long movie, I feel like being high feels like a detriment, but it's probably one of the only things that actually gets me through it. Where it's like, all right, like we're vibing, like I'm with it. So like I was happy to like see the story play out over the time, and to me it felt like all the sort of hanging pieces came together in the end, in sort of the same sloppy, fucked up way a lot of epics happen. Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of epics do this thing of like building up this thing for like 2.5 hours, and then in like the last 30 minutes it's like, well, fucking, that is a lot of shit. How do we clear it up? Yeah. I don't know. Everybody fight. Like it's gonna work out somehow if all the key people that you need dead die, and maybe some good people too. So like that felt pretty stereotypical. I think that's why I'm landing at a 3.5, because it's like, yeah, you sort of set the precedent for this thing. Like, this is what, 2002.
Yeah.
When it comes out, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, not a lot of these types of movies had been made, at least to me, just yet. So it's like you do get that benefit of the doubt. But in the end, like you do end in sort of the same stereotypical way you sort of need to in order to make all these sort of loose ends sort of tie together. But hey, it works for me at least. And I think being high added on to that.
I mean, it's definitely Scorsese's first like stab at a true epic story and a big scale like this,
like grandiose,
and
where he's actually coming closer to succeeding than, because we talked about how Last Temptation is more or less his real first attempt at like an epic,
right?
And then Age of Innocence is epic in scope, but the narrative is so intimate that
it's a very narrow narrative. Like between, just like it's always about like basically these.
I mean,
three
it's
people.
ironic that it's also about these three people.
Gangs in New York.
Yeah, I mean, like they're both Age of Innocence and this. They're both about these three people, whereas like the story at the center of Gangs in New York doesn't feel as intimately confined to the people that are involved in it.
Right.
It feels like
It's
they are
also
involved
about
in
the
the
bigger-
grander whole as well. They're
Right.
moving pieces that are being directly affected by the history that's taking place around them.
Which is why,
and they're shaping it directly, especially like Bill the Butcher,
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately Amsterdam as well.
I personally don't think Scorsese excels at the epic that isn't intimate. Like Irishman is an epic story that spans so long, but it is never not about the people and their relationships to each other.
Never.
Yes.
Like history's happening, but it's never even about the history. Where this, it's almost the inverse. And I think Scorsese's always, we've talked about it so many goddamn times, but he's a character director. He's a world builder. He's a people stories in their environment. And so I think when he's going past that, he can get a little lost. This movie feels lost to me because like I didn't not enjoy any of it. I got a little bored at some point where I was like, this can end. I am checked out a little bit.
When Bill the Butcher and DiCaprio are just being friends at one point, where it's like, okay,
No, I mean that's the fun stuff. That's the good stuff. When he wakes up, the scariest. Just
no, that's at the end of their friendship though.
that is true.
Towards the end, yes.
Yeah, right before
Their
the betrayal.
alliance, their surrogate family.
Yeah.
But it's you guys talk about feeling fatigue, and I feel like this is a very different sort of Sesame movie, and I feel like that also is something where I was like,
same with New
this is
York.
nice.
New York, it's just it stayed on too long. It was too
Wow.
much.
I don't
oh,
agree with you.
uh-oh,
there.
uh-oh.
But I do think it was a definite shakeup and Scorsese doing something different. And I
Yeah.
think that's why I did appreciate it and was like, yeah, this is all fine. I just don't think any of it was special. Like the closest thing to special is probably Daniel Day-Lewis. And even
Right.
that I don't know if I'd say was like special. He's great.
He
He's
is phenomenal.
undeniably great.
So
Hot
good.
take. It
But
just feels like a warm up for Daniel Plainview.
Yeah. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's just fact.
That is not.
I think Paul
when
watched
you
it
say
and went,
Come
And
here.
I want to
ironic
do
that-
that.
Come here. Come
John
here.
C. Reilly was offered the role in this movie, wasn't going to take it. Paul Thomas Anderson insisted he take it to work with Martin
Are you
Scorsese.
fucking kidding me, John? You gotta fucking work.
It's
with
Scorsese.
I just don't think I can do it. I don't have a good John C.
No,
Reilly.
it started out pretty
I
good.
don't know, Paul.
I don't know. Just
Well,
he doesn't
I
talk.
don't Paul. Paul, I don't know if this is really a good idea for me.
It's awful.
It's Martin Scorsese.
It's awful.
It's really bad.
Sounds
Sorry.
It sounds
nothing
like you're doing Bobcat
Oh,
Goldthwait.
It feels like I'm doing that character off of like the Sesame Street. Hi. Oh no, that's Animal. He's a Muppet.
No, it's Pee Wee Herman.
What's happening?
Devolving into high madness.
Yeah.
So
Reefer madness.
I will say, it kind of reminded me of Titanic in a way.
It has a Titanic vibe.
In a way where it's like you're really
Oh,
just
yeah,
trying
like
to show
there's-
me like the events and the history of this place, but you're placing like a story into it so that we can follow it. So it's like, all right, and I know that that's like, I feel like that's just a difference in taste. Where it's like, well, no, if you're gonna give me the story, fucking like, give me that shit.
This
if
is
you-
helping me realize maybe what my issue with Casino is. Pick
Ooh.
one or the other.
Oh,
Pick the intimate or pick the wide
the
scale.
history. See, and I feel like,
I don't think he can mesh the two well.
and I feel like I'm just too forgiving. Where I'm like, I understand.
Better than here.
I disagree.
See, everyone's
God.
got it. Neither of you guys like.
It's all
Well,
preference.
neither of you. Yeah, it's all preference. You guys got Gangs in New York, and then we got New York, and then we got Casino.
Well, part of the other reason why I think Gangs of New York is not just sloppy in the way it presents its story and its history, but the style.
Yeah,
It's
style's
like
pretty
kind of
fucking weird.
atrocious. It's like almost objectively bad.
It's very.
Was there any like notes taken for this movie?
Nah,
Like any no
Couldn't
one,
do it.
no one wrote down any trivia or anything?
no.
I mean, I wasn't interested.
Oh my god!
Even after it was over.
I
But
just
see,
feel like that's
I'm
something we
trying to-
just do.
But I'm trying to be as like honest with my experience with the movie as possible, and not try and like add the bias of well, no, this was made by Scorsese, so that means there's more to it necessary. And I mean, like, I do look at those things, but like at the forefront, I'm like, the experience is key. And like if I'm watching the movie and I'm like as roped in and engaged as I am in something like Casino or Goodfellas or After Hours, right? I'm so like with it that I can probably look away and still retain that like, that attentive like want to keep going with this story.
Well, now
Whereas
I'm
this movie isn't guiding me in a way that I feel like I wanted to keep going.
Is it
and I
because there's
wanted to
just
stay
too
on
much
the story.
plot?
That might be it. But I don't know if it's plot, but I think more or less minutia going on around the plot. Because the plot is very simple when
I'm
you really
about to
break
say
it down.
it doesn't really like seem that complicated. His pa gets killed. He wants to get revenge for his pa, so he tries to get in with the gang to get revenge for his
so I
pa.
guess the
It's his trust.
specifics.
Yeah, and then he betrays his trust, and
Well,
then they face off.
I feel like the outer story is just as important in the movie with like the political movements happening.
yeah,
Everything
it's
with Bill
supposed
the
to
Butcher
be.
and the corrupt politicians. Like I feel like that gets a more substantial screen time than I remembered.
Especially in the latter half.
This is only the second time I've seen this, and it was this and Aviator I saw like probably 10 years ago or more, and barely remember either, and it pretty much is going to feel like a first watch for both. But in my clouded memory, I was like, oh, Daniel Day-Lewis was barely fucking in that, and like it was all about goddamn Leonardo DiCaprio and Cameron Diaz and nothing else.
No.
So I think I've had a very warped memory of this movie because it's not that. But I also feel exactly the same, strangely. My opinion did not change.
I saw it for the first time probably near 3 years ago, and I remember when I watched it and having the opinion in mind of all the reviews I had been seeing that were just like, it's fine, middle of the road. So I was just expecting something like that, middle of the road. My parents really wanted to watch it again because they really like it, and I decided I would. So I was surprised by how entertaining the movie was, and I was just riding off that and like not putting any sort of expectation or excitement into it. And I just walked up being like, that was a fun movie, and gave it like that full 4 stars and was just like, great, fun movie. It's Martin Scorsese. Like, obviously all these moving parts are really good, but I didn't really pay attention then either. From what I remember, I was just sort of going along with the movie, trying to enjoy the ride and having more fun than I expected to. And this time, having been going through Scorsese's filmography, there is a lot of themes in here that, again, trace through the more of the same stuff. But I think that the interesting element as far as his involvement comes in the scope, like we've been talking about, the epic nature.
Definitely.
And like you said, Frank, I do agree that he doesn't necessarily fail, but he doesn't like stand tall above that genre, or with that genre. He hasn't made something that is as assured as someone like Kubrick with Barry Lyndon or
even Spartacus.
Well, yeah, Spartacus too, but I'm not even a fan of that movie.
Me neither, but Kubrick's Kubrick's the saving grace of that movie.
Right.
Where the story falls apart and almost feels like it's the opposite here. Like in a different hand, I do believe this movie could have been better.
Yes.
So where do you guys believe the story fell apart?
I don't know. I never felt fully engaged, which is why I think that's more on Marty than the story, because I think it's a very interesting story. I think the outer stuff is working parallel to the main story in an interesting way, and if somebody who wasn't Ceci tackled it, it could have been enthralling. But or maybe DiCaprio's weariness, he feels lost to me. Actually, I don't know if I feel like
he's
I said
the
that
weakest
to
of the three
Scorsese.
performers.
I think
in
so.
my head.
I think Diaz is great, and so is Daniel Day, and Leo just kind of seems like unsure of how he's supposed to fit into this, because he's like, well, the movie's not all about me, but I'm still the lead, but I'm almost not. Like
Daniel Day-Lewis is the one that gets nominated for Best Actor.
Daniel Day-Lewis is in the scene, is in every scene, is seen with every supporting actor in the movie.
Yeah,
I don't think Leo is.
That's interesting. Leo isn't a part of the political side plot at all.
That is pretty true. Well, they do come to him towards the end.
Maybe that's why he's fucking lost, man. Because he's like, I'm not the lead, but I also still am. So I need to carry this movie.
It's a weird position to be in as a movie star, especially like hot off Titanic, just 5 years.
You're like barely. You are just an audience surrogate character, and yet you're still trying to be the dramatic crux of the movie, and those usually aren't the case in a way. I don't know. We watched this 2 days ago, our not normal recording schedule, and I already feel like a lot of this movie left me. Like I didn't not
so
enjoy
indifferent
it
to it.
I just the whole time I was like, okay, and this is all fine.
And there is technical elements that I can legitimately point to that I'm like, that's weird. Like, I don't know if I like that.
The editing and the music.
This felt like a living room TV movie, just like something
it's
a little
on
bit
TNT
longer
at 5 p.m. on a fucking Thursday.
It just feels like something that like I sat down and it's like, oh, me, my mom, my sister are just on the couch watching this movie now, and then it's like, oh, it was it was over. Like that was cool. Like I'm not fucking mad that I watched it, didn't waste my time. And then if I have to sit here and think about it, it's like, well, yeah, like I mean, I still enjoy it. It's pretty cool. I don't think probably not something with like, I'd say more rewatchability than like the last couple.
I do think Ceci upgrades this material like literally within
and
3 years of making this movie.
You'll see.
Talking Wolf of Wall Street? Because that is pretty long.
No,
The Departed. They're like the same almost.
They're definitely doing different things, but they are also weirdly similar.
Are not allowed to talk about The Departed.
We're not going in further
till the day before we watch it. I don't want you guys putting it on a pedestal.
Are we watching Infernal Affairs?
We should.
What? No.
And it's what do you mean?
I'll watch it first, and I will let
I'm
Brandon
watching it.
know.
No. The Aviator's next. I'm sorry. I thought you guys meant watching a movie today. I want to play video games.
Oh,
no. I'm talking though. I want to watch it in case. What if it spoils everything for Brandon on The Departed? I want him to experience it.
Wow.
Pure.
All right.
Let me watch it first.
Well, I'm gonna watch it
well,
too.
You can watch it too. I'm not saying you can't watch it. Just saying before Brandon watches it.
How selfish.
I have to watch it.
But so Scorsese made it with this, then Infernal Affairs comes out after this, and then he remakes it again with The Departed.
So who made Infernal Affairs?
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't think they're well-known directors.
So why did Ceci just take it?
I think it was a script circulating.
Yeah.
It's just like an American remake of this foreign
Frank and I were just
movie.
talking about how, despite the fact that there are plenty of projects that are Ceci's like passion projects, we're pretty sure the only one that wasn't straight up brought to him was like Mean Streets.
Yeah.
And Who's That Knocking at My Door, probably. Like everything else is something that was given to him
in one way or another.
Yeah.
Somebody giving him the book that he becomes obsessed with.
Yep.
Or an actor being like, we got to make this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay. So
all the more reason that I'm glad that we put Mean Streets in the canon, because it's just his lifeblood. But that makes me want to see Italian American really bad.
We'll watch it.
Yeah.
They don't look like they've done.
Interesting. Something that I read about Scorsese in this movie. When he was a kid living in the 50s in New York, he said walking around his neighborhood, he'd notice like things in architecture that looked really old, significantly older than other parts of the neighborhood that he was seeing, and that made him understand that there was a history before the Italian Americans arrived, and that really fascinated him from a young age. So this is a subject that he's been trying to tackle for literal years, but he wasn't given Gangs of New York, the book, until the 70s.
And didn't it go through a couple cycles of almost making it? Not just
he
once?
almost made it in the 70s with De Niro and Malcolm McDowell.
Right, you mentioned that.
He almost made it again, I'm pretty sure, in the 80s or 90s with Mel Gibson.
And who is the other one?
Oh, God. I can't remember who was supposed to play Bill the Butcher. Oh, Willem Dafoe.
That's right.
Willem Dafoe. And then he inevitably went up with DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis and Cameron Diaz.
I remember hearing once that DiCaprio had to convince Day-Lewis that he had done one of his infamous retires.
Yeah, at the time he was in semi-retirement apparently, and Scorsese had to try and pull him out.
And I'm pretty
And
sure
the only reason he came back was he was like, yeah, I liked working with him. Day-Lewis has been quoted as saying every actor deserves to work with Martin Scorsese. I feel like I may have said that before on the podcast.
I love it. I love it.
Wait,
So glad you said it
Day-Lewis
again.
what?
Said every actor deserves to work with Martin Scorsese.
Well, I believe that.
And I just remember hearing a story once that DiCaprio had to like go to his house and like walk with him and convince him. Day-Lewis, like,
That's
please,
crazy.
please be in this.
Imagine
movie
being
with
young
me.
Leo going
He
to
said it was the
Daniel
scariest thing he
Day-Lewis.
had done. you know?
Dude, I just read this little thing on IMDb that after they were done shooting, they Martin Scorsese and Leo convinced Daniel Day to go out eating with them. And he was like, finally, he was like, yeah, I'll go. But he didn't break character. And the waitress was afraid to wait on them.
Well, apparently Scorsese was afraid of Daniel Day-Lewis on set and like outside of the set and everything.
He's like, it's hard to tell him what to do.
I don't know if this is true because I haven't been able to find the information again. So Frank, if you can look it up. But did Daniel Day-Lewis not get pneumonia while making this movie?
That's just a myth.
Is that a myth?
That Daniel, wait, what?
That Daniel Day-Lewis, the actor, got real pneumonia while shooting this movie.
That's what I've always heard.
And that while he had pneumonia, he refused treatment because they wouldn't have had treatment in the 1800s.
And they had to force him to get treatment. That's legendary. I don't know. Maybe it is.
And I wanted to say that that's why you thought he was sick when he did that scene with the American flag.
Yes.
And that's where I was like, oh, that he may have been sick when he did that scene, like in real life.
Mhm.
But we're just seeing him with the bullet wound.
God damn it. What is going My computer is acting up. Man, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Like everything's lagging and nothing's pulling up. Oh, that's why. Forgot those movies. I'm going to close this program real quick and look up if he really got sick. Scorsese.
De Niro.
Joe Pesci.
Daniel Day learned how to fucking be a butcher by working in a butcher shop.
Yeah, he
Butcher shop
took an
for weeks.
apprenticeship, didn't he?
Yeah, and then he also hired circus performers to come to his house and teach him how to throw knives every day.
Awesome.
He's
a
crazy.
good knife thrower. Whoopsie daisy.
Those are real knife throws
Really?
from him,
Wow. Committed. Real committed.
I think.
I mean, the story appears to be true.
About getting pneumonia and refusing treatment?
Yes, sir.
I think
Fucking
Scorsese
idiot.
was like, that was crazy.
Refused to wear a modern coat in the cold. Like between takes.
Yeah.
He would stay in his clothes. No. I will freeze. I need to know.
Daniel, are you okay?
No. Absolutely not.
And his character was not okay, so he couldn't be okay. When he cooks the steak, just like he
it's
sears it on each
disgusting.
side, just like
That's
real
why they don't
quick.
show him biting it.
No,
which
I'm
I
sure he
really-
ate it.
I
No,
think they
dude.
showed him take a bite.
They don't show him take a bite. I know because I was like, don't fucking take a bite. Don't take a bite. Please don't take a bite. Then they cut, and I was like, good.
Hey man, I
Fucking
like when
disgusting.
I used to eat red meat. I liked a rare steak, like a rarer, not
I
like
hate-
rare, but like well done was no good.
Mm-mm. I don't like seeing pink in my meat. Makes me uncomfortable
I mean, I get it.
Medium well.
I don't like seeing any pink in any meat now.
because you don't eat meat.
Yeah.
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 If you see pink in chicken, you should run.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that's salmonella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's enough.
Oh no.
You know, we haven't talked specifically about Ballhouse and Schoonmaker too much.
House.
Because the Ballhouse is back. We're back in Ballhouse now.
We're back in Ballhouse's house.
Can we? This is the
Ballhouse's.
one other time he had a script by Steve Zalian, who comes back.
Oh, wait, no, this
force.
is Jay Cox and Martin Scorsese.
Steve Zalian is credited.
Did he credit it? Is he a writer on this as well? I thought that
Yes.
Jay Cox was the guy.
Screenplay was written by Jay Cox, Steve Zalian, and Kenneth Lonergan.
No shit. So it probably went through a few different hands.
That's too many hands.
So many hands.
That's probably why it's so sloppy.
Yeah, man. It really is.
Extra sloppy.
Fuck off.
Come
I thought
on,
it
lady.
was
You're scaring
fine.
us.
But Steve Zalian worked on this at least to some capacity.
Yeah.
And he
The
comes
coveted
back.
writer of The Irishman.
The Irishman. The sole writer. of
He
The
writes The Irishman.
And then
Yes, sir.
pre-The Irishman, Jay Cox comes back for Silence.
He writes Silence. I thought that was Schrader.
No, Schrader's done with Ceci. They never make anything together again. If you want to see a close representation of what a modern Ceci Schrader might look like, just watch First Reformed. That is far more attuned to Schrader's directorial sensibilities.
Is it good?
First Reformed is amazing.
It looks like the script went through 9 revised drafts with Scorsese.
Wow.
So Cox was retained. I don't think much of his was left, though.
Interesting.
That's what my quick reading did. Because I did not research.
Me either.
Like we
But I
usually
just had
do.
an indifference.
Did you?
It's also only been a couple
I
days.
never
I
do.
Don't
a
take
week.
that tone.
I know.
If
thought
you
about
want
that.
it, you got to do it.
Next time, maybe I will.
You knew we weren't hot on this.
Yeah, but you
Aviator I
guys
might
always
because I'm
take notes.
excited. I got to know about Howard Hughes because I eventually want to watch Melvin and Howard. And for some reason, I was like, I need to know more information about Howard Hughes before I watch that movie.
I just like younger years of Howard Hughes.
Yeah, this
before
movie?
he's like old and crazy.
Right, but he's old and
Yeah.
crazy in Melvin and Howard.
Maybe it
Me
does get
too.
to that a little bit. I don't know.
Howard Hughes was one weird guy.
He had long fingernails.
Yep, he was for the cocaine. Howard Hughes is addicted to cocaine.
You heard
Stop
it here
spreading
first.
smut on the chronic canon.
Yeah, why are you trying to bring our name down?
We always say wrong
When did you
information by
decide?
accident. Why are you doing
Cool
this on
purpose.
purpose?
Did you want to bring us down?
Why don't you grow a pair of
Don't
balls?
answer that. That's one of them rhetorical questions.
We're all big fans of The Sopranos now. Just kidding. No, we're not.
We haven't watched a single episode,
A couple clips. I've seen 2 episodes.
but we
Uh,
have seen you grow a pair of balls.
I know how it ends.
Yeah, everybody knows how it ends.
and it's good.
Pop, pop.
I don't have to fucking see the show to know that's a good
Yeah,
ending.
that's a great ending. I haven't even seen it, but great ending.
What? That's stupid.
Did you cut the black? Is the TV on? Marie? I don't know. That's just angry man at Sopranos finale.
Everybody loves Raymond watching the end of The Sopranos.
Ah.
Everybody loves Raymond.
My boy said this.
Haven't we done this too?
Everybody loves Raymond on the pot? No,
Yeah.
we have not.
I don't like
know.
everybody.
Eyes
Loves
are
Raymond.
getting weary. Back's getting
I was
tight.
an everybody hates Chris kind of
Yeah,
kid.
We did talk about the
I
King of
love
Queens on the
Everybody
pot
Hates
one.
Chris. Oh, that might be what I'm thinking.
that's a
Whatever
spin-off of
happened
Everybody
to
Loves Raymond.
predictability?
That's Full House.
The newsman, the paperboy.
What other TV shows are
Even
there?
TV. Something you said made me think about that.
You're gonna sit here and say you liked Gangs of New York?
Well, listen, what the fuck do you want me to say? Like,
Anything.
I roll
Cameron
off with you
Diaz is
guys.
slept on in this
You
movie.
guys
oh no,
talk
we were
about-
talking about
literally and
Ballhouse and
figuratively.
You guys talk about
Schumacher.
technical aspects, and you guys talk about fun facts, and then I come with nothing but opinions. It's our dynamic.
Apparently, Scorsese gave Bauhaus Rembrandt paintings to look at because he wanted the movie to look like a Rembrandt painting, and I kind of think that it's funny because I think the movie looks as messy as the plot is, like in terms of the color schemes and everything. Like everything is just so brown that to the point where it literally feels like everything is just blending in, and I can't actually discern things in the image because there's just so much going on. But even like the camera moves and stuff aren't as noticeably good and stuff in this. You know what I mean? Like there was never too many moments where I was like, oh fuck, like that one hit. Like that one was really good.
I do appreciate that. Well, yeah, I agree. I was about to say
it's not noticeable, so in a way that's a good thing.
the thing I was about to compliment. I think that Schoonmaker
Schoonmacher.
does. I always say Thelma.
We can say Thelma too.
Schoonmaker is the one that makes things jump in this movie, usually in a bad way, but I do appreciate that she keeps this fast pace,
Yes.
like the whole movie. It does feel almost relentless.
we
in
at
a
least
way.
stayed awake the whole time.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like
doesn't
it's
get
like
boring.
you can't not completely drift off because there's always something happening.
Yes.
And it feels very rapid fire.
Yeah.
And I was about to attribute that to Ballhouse, but that's all her.
Yeah.
And she does make some like camera or some compositions just pop by suddenly cutting to them. But again, I think that credit does need to go to her. But I also feel like they do a lot of weird, sloppy stuff. Like
I think the music is definitely something that like clouds our vision of a lot of things too,
It's
because
so
the music
bad.
choices in this are so bad. Howard Shore's score is atrocious,
2 thumbs down on that music.
especially the battle scene music.
It's very indicative of it coming out in 2002
Oh my god!
and trying to appeal to a young audience who'd be like Leonardo
It's like
DiCaprio.
Scorsese's doing like a postmodern epic.
The
I
budget.
thought it was cool. It's bad.
What do you
I mean,
mean?
it's like
the music.
The music's awful.
It's just like whatever.
in Miami
It's some
Vice,
fucking
it works.
Barely.
This it doesn't.
background beats and snares while people just stab each other. Who cares?
For a movie in the 18th century.
And hearing like a
What do you want, like a
guitar
pan
bends
flute?
and stuff.
I don't know. Don't
Like-
make movies about old times.
Oh,
you're not-
well, okay. I'm down with that. Don't make movie about old times.
I'm just saying. I've never been about the past. That's the only
Well,
modern
like I
form.
said in the Age Innocence episode, if we're gonna
But
do a
sometimes.
movie about the old times, I want to know about the people on the ground
Which-
with the dirt.
That's
covered
what
all
this
over
is. This movie literally was a response to you.
them. Yes.
It went, fuck the high society. Let's look at
let's
low
let's
society.
let's get on the ground.
In cahoots with high society a little. Not
Yeah.
cahoots, but they're like around.
Yeah.
Trying to
trying to
dive in.
dictate
Yes,
low
yes,
society
yes,
and
yes.
control them and it blowing up in their face.
Any highlights that you guys would talk about with this movie? Things that you liked? I know we mentioned Cameron Diaz as slept on.
Yeah, she's definitely gotten a bad rap for some reason. Like I
think there's just the stigma against Cameron Diaz as like a rom-com actor. You know, like especially in like the early 2000s and stuff. Charlie's Angels
yeah.
was coming out around the same time. I'm pretty sure. There's
Yeah.
Something About Mary was just a few years before this. The Mask was mid 90s.
smoking.
Smoking. So she had a
loved it.
reputation for the kinds of movies that she was doing, and if anything, this is like a step out of that for the first time, probably.
But people didn't.
But I also don't know
respect
that. I
it.
haven't looked at her canon recently.
Yeah, I didn't really see her as bad. My
No, I thought
experience
she was
with
very good.
She's
my
good.
experience with Cameron Diaz is definitely like varied. I've seen the Charlie's Angels movies. I've seen Bad Teacher, and like I want to say like those are the two that like pop in my head. But I also feel like she's one of those actors. Oh, Sex Tape with Jason Segel.
Oh yeah.
But I also feel like she's one of those actresses that have just been like in a lot of movies that you would have seen like in passing. You know, like all those like
The Shreks.
Yeah, she is. She's Fiona.
Night and Day. That's a bad movie.
Oof.
The
Oh,
Counselor.
is that the Tom Cruise?
That's a bad movie. Yeah, that's the Tom
My
Cruise.
God.
I just forgot though. It is kind of weird because she was in Being John Malkovich
Oh,
and pretty good and serious. and that
That's
was
right.
3
she
years
was.
before.
But see, that was considered a comedy more than it was anything else, right?
I don't think so. It's an
That'd be
existential
weird.
drama.
I
mean,
think
it's
it's an
funny.
existential drama too, but I think most people label it comedy.
Well, most people are stupid.
You know who else is stupid? The Academy Awards for nominating this for 10 Oscars. Even though it's like it's not deserving in a technical sense. Like I think the production design in theory is good and all that stuff. Again, I just think that the imagery blended all of it so much that I could barely discern things. But I also think that may have just been me.
Should I
Talking
run
of-
down the
what?
10
Sure.
It's in what?
Hit him up.
that Oscars it was nominated for?
Wait. Let me talk about the highlight.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So one thing that I want to highlight is the scene where they're after Billy the Butcher gets shot, and you know they're all just like celebrating and commemorating, and he's like really really drunk and he's passed out, and he sees Cameron Diaz and Billy the Butcher like exchange words and weird. It was weird, something like that made him really jealous. So he like got up and was being all like, "Man, I'm upset," and then she's all like, "Huh," like, "Oh, you're upset? Well, fuck you," blah 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 blah. But then they have that moment upstairs with the bites. And she's like, "I'll fucking bite you if you take one step closer to me." And then he's like leaning in, and then she bites, and then he's leaning in, and then she bites, and then they make out, and then they make love.
You were
Hot.
you were going off about it the whole
That
movie.
it was very,
Well, when
it
we
was
were-
like authentically hot. Where I was like, "That's hot."
'Cause now he's
Well, we
got hot movie stars for the
like
first
legit
time.
movie stars. Like De Niro is scary and
Mm.
sex
De Niro's
scenes.
scary. Daniel Day wasn't used correctly.
No.
He is scary.
Why do you care about what I read, lady?
There it is. The heat. Even New York. I think he's not. I like his romantic things,
Why
but
does
he's
your
also
muffin have more
terrifying.
blueberries than my muffin? I want
Every-
10 blueberries
Every
in
time
each muffin.
I think of New York, I think about her saying she won't marry him, and then him immediately like behind the
Kill
taxi.
me.
I love it.
It's like, excuse me, back up. Come on, back up, kill me.
I love it.
He's so extreme.
But
no,
I think
but
that's
then
why.
right after that, followed by literally to me felt like the most intense moment of the movie. Daniel Day in that chair with the fucking American
Yeah.
flag wrapped around him.
Yes.
And then that's when he gives the whole speech that I gave at the beginning of the podcast, except replace podcast with the word fear. And it becomes a lot more scary, especially after Leo technically, to what we thought, just fucked his girl. But not really. He turned out not to care about that. He just really wants a son because he almost died. That's something that Daniel Day-Lewis will play on later.
They did have.
I've abandoned my boy.
My child.
I've abandoned my child.
There Will Be Blood is so much better.
I mean, I will
is.
give you guys that. And There Will Be Blood is fucking amazing.
Talking about A Portrait of America too.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that this has smart ideas about portraying the history of America from
Absolutely.
the other level that's not like
the fact that
high
all these
society
gangs are
only.
real is really cool.
Yeah, it's based on a true like non-fiction
The 5
book.
points.
And I also think that the dynamic between DiCaprio and Day-Lewis and their characters was good stuff. Like I was always like, I like how this progresses.
Well, it
I
feels
like
like
that he-
Day-Lewis is like over DiCaprio, even as an actor.
Yeah.
You know, and like DiCaprio knows it.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, how could you not?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're going to make There Will Be Blood soon, aren't you?
That's exactly what he said to him. He spit in his face. No, I like their dynamics. I think that probably is like the actual highlight of the movie is just like their scenes together, just the two of them.
Well, you know,
Because there's
who-
not even that many. There's
The-
usually
the
a
one
lot
where
of
they're
people in
butchering the
every
pig
scene.
is good.
Huh?
Where they're stabbing the pig.
That's a
That's
great
a
one.
wound.
I didn't think
That's a
about,
wound.
I could think about
Cut the
people
artery.
that disagree with you. A whole academy of them, actually, that disagree with you. That's why I was nominated for 10 Oscars at the
Do
Academy
you say
Awards.
wouldn't disagree with me?
Who do disagree with you?
Why do they disagree with me?
Because they nominated for 10 Oscars.
I just said a positive thing. I don't understand.
No, what? You just said the word falls short.
No, I didn't.
I mean, I was too caught up in trying to get my bit out there. What'd you say?
Yeah, you were, because that
No.
made no fucking sense.
No.
Bad.
Wow.
Bad
Roast.
podcasting.
Bad roast.
What?
Bad podcasting.
Bad what?
Podcasting.
Pod.
I'm sticking with that one.
No.
This is
This
a
is a
podcast.
general rules of podcasting.
No.
Yes, and bitch.
This isn't a podcast.
And you just went, nope, I got a bit, and I'm gonna do
This
it.
is a podcast.
All right, good point. I did get nominated for 10 Oscars. You son of a bitch.
Now name them, Guinea.
Best picture. Best picture. Best actor in a leading role for Daniel Day. Best director. Best original screenplay. This should have been adapted. How did this get nominated for best original screenplay?
What's the difference?
Because
Oh, is
the
it
characters are
inspired
narrate- yeah.
By a book? That's bullshit.
Wait,
Okay, anyway.
I thought adapted screenplay was when it got adapted from like
A book.
another. Okay,
Or anything.
I thought it like from
The
another
book is The
screenplay.
Gangs of New York, an informal history of the underworld, written in 1927.
Best original screenplay. Stupid. Best
The
cinematography.
Academy's a bunch of idiots.
Best
I
cinematography,
agree.
best art direction, best costume design, best film editing, best sound, best original song. Which U2, The Hands That Built America, was that at the end?
We talked
Yes.
about that. That
So
The Edge
fucking
was
ridiculous.
participant in this movie.
And up to this point, this is his most Oscar nominations for any movie.
Right on.
10.
Kind
I
of
mean,
weird.
at least Assessi's
10
getting
big ones.
recognition.
He's had 3 after that he gets the same or more. Hugo, Aviator, and Irishman.
Hell
That's. We only have what 6 movies left? 7.
God damn it. Aviator, Departed, Shutter Island, Hugo, Wolf of Wall Street, Silence, Irishman.
7. So almost half. Do really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, then that's 8 if you're counting gangs.
No, like
So then
after
literally
Gangs.
half.
No, after game.
I'm going to kill you. One day, I'm going to kill you.
Well, you heard it here
Put
first,
me in
folks.
jail.
If you know, if I wind up dead and it's murder, you know who did it.
Fuck.
That's crazy.
Now somebody's going to murder you just so I have to go to jail.
I know that you were trying to be Bong Joon-ho, but you sounded more like Nacho Libre.
I wasn't trying to be Bong Joon-ho.
Don't talk to me anymore. You're crazy. Man, I really liked Nacho Libre. And now that I'm older, I'm like, that's not okay, right? But also, like, it's
We're
really,
not getting
it's
into this.
really funny.
Fuck Nacho Libre. We're not delving into
We're
that.
not doing a Jared Hess series. This isn't the Hess series.
Not yet.
It
Just
is
kidding.
like a great movie to watch. I will say that.
I buy that. The budget and the box office,
Oh, the budget's got to be big.
big. $97 million.
Wow, that's actually less than I would have
Jesus
thought.
Christ.
In today's money, $139 million.
Nice.
That makes more sense.
It
But even The
m-
Irishman's like around that much too, right?
I think so. Actually, it's more.
That's what I mean.
And it made, at the time, $193.8 million, which today is $277.7 million. That's a bigger hit.
That's a bigger hit, bro. That's
I
money
don't-
back
It was a
in
big
the
ol'
inside.
hit.
Is that his biggest? Is that more than Cape Fear? 'Cause
I think that you
Cape
may
Fear-
have said that it was his biggest hit, like up to the next point or something. at
Yeah,
one
not
point.
not overall. He definitely passes it in the future with Leo multiple times.
Yeah, no.
Actually,
It's fucking crazy that this movie was nominated for 10 Oscars after Bringing Out the Dead was nominated for literally 0.
yes.
Yeah, we didn't mention that in the last podcast.
the only
but
movie
of the 90s
Mhm.
of Scorsese's to not get nominated for a single Oscar.
Only 8 of his did not get a single nomination, including the first 2. So that's how many?
25 movies minus 8.
17. So
Damn,
17
that's
out of 25 got Oscar noms. Good
What
for
the
him.
fuck?
What a track record.
He's a
Way
good,
to go, Sassy.
he's a pretty good director. I don't know.
Way to go, Thelma.
He's
Because I'd say
aight.
she's pretty tied into
He's
it.
aight.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's aight.
He's a pretty cunt.
Excuse me?
Scoons me?
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
When you said
Schoonmaker.
Schoonmaker Bosch.
Schoonmaker.
Don't even say that. Schoonmack.
Schoonmaker.
Can you guys just stop saying your last name?
Thelma.
There you go.
Thelma
Thelma.
and Louise.
Editor.
Thelma and
Just
Louise.
kidding. We won't do that disservice to her.
What's happening?
What?
Gangs of New York.
Gangs of
Oh,
New York.
Is that it? We're done with the budget? I thought you were about to say something else about it.
Nah, man. It's big. He went big. He went for it,
Yeah.
and he made a fuck ton of money.
I'm going to be
And
honest,
now
too.
we're into Scorsese's period of excess. From here on, all his movies are big.
Yeah.
Like big budgets, big scale, big stories, even when they feel intimate, like I pointed out with Irishman. And Silence is pretty intimate, but it feels like he's going for more. Like every movie
Absolutely.
feels like he's trying to craft an epic in one way or another. Even like Shutter Island, it feels like it's bigger than like some like personal little horror movie, like it probably should have been, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah, who knows? I haven't seen it in long enough to be able to distinguish.
Almost all of these I've seen one time, except for Irishman I've seen twice.
Seen
and
Wolf
The
of Wall Street a few
Departed
times.
I've seen like 50 times. That's all I care
So
about.
that's what I'm saying is I feel like we may end up even talking more about Gangs in New York when The Departed comes
yeah.
around.
I'm gonna
Simply because
force
we're going to tie it in.
cross
But like,
referencing.
I feel bad in the sense that like I know we've already been talking for like a little over an hour now
Oh, damn.
in our ears.
Not in yours.
No, but
Bitches.
there's just not much I have to say about it. It feels like it's just sort of like, yeah, I don't know. Like whatever you think it is going to be is probably what it is. Like, and like knowing the people involved and Scorsese, it just doesn't feel like anything
Essential.
essential, nor so good or so bad that you have to note it in any particular way. Like, I think you could even skip this in a Scorsese-a-thon
Don't.
and
Well-
not like, and you wouldn't lose any sort of value in knowing him as an artist.
Well,
If The Departed is what you guys say it is, then I will circle back
I
and
don't
agree
know.
with you.
I'm only saying that because this feels like the new age ushering in, and that in a way is important.
yeah,
Now he's going Leo. Now he's going big. Now he's going commercial, quote unquote.
I haven't seen it, but I might think Aviator could take that spot,
I think it could too. I don't remember well enough.
and it also ties into
But
movies.
at the same time, this is the perfect TV movie. Like if it's on TV, you might as well sit down and watch it.
well, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah, me neither. But like you might as well if you want to see it.
I guess that's fair. If it's on and you have the opportunity and you have the time, go for it.
Yeah,
It's just pretty inconsequential overall, you know?
yeah, it's a hard movie to advocate for. I think it is just like like I
Solid.
sat down and I watched it and I liked it, and it's
Not
like
breaking new ground.
Yeah. So I can't wax about it too much, and I feel like at the end of the day, that does there isn't that much.
He's
you can
swinging
say.
for the
'Cause
fences.
In the end, it's like a vibe. You either catch on to it or like you don't, and then at that point, it is what it is.
Well, no, because I think you can chalk that up to all movies. But I
Sure.
think in
I
this
mean,
one
everything we
particularly-
ever say ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
At the
It
end
Which
of
is
the
the
day.
conclusion we always come to.
I think the opening scene was sweet and I
Until
was
the
in
music.
it, and then as soon as the music came on, and I actually think that battle scene, we'll talk about this more later, but I think it's actually pretty bad.
Mhm.
Lee Dunn, personally, I don't think
it can be done better for sure.
I don't think Scorsese excels at those types of scenes. I really don't. Guess he's intimate, and I think his violence is
Well,
best.
that's why I
but-
thought the best battle in the movie was when the fog shrouded Leo and he couldn't see anything.
Yes, that
big
was
battle,
dope.
big battles are always gonna fall under the clumsy thing for me. And if if you're using so many real actors. Like, you're
Yeah.
either gonna have to go like you're gonna have to go full 10 with a bunch of trained actors that like are working in tandem with each other, or you're just gonna have to throw in like some real ones and then like some fake shit out like in the background. But if you have to have so many people that are like real people having like fake fights with each other, it's gonna look like shit.
I think like you need to find that balance between like good choreography and
Mhm.
like filmmaking like itself, so that it seems unique or different
Yeah.
or clear. And I think he went a little too heavy on the filmmaking, and that
Def-
isn't correct.
It
You
felt more
need to find a
cinematic
balance.
than like actiony.
yeah, and
Yeah.
but it also felt like it was trying to be
Yeah.
badass action scene. But I will say at the end, even though I was like checked out story wise, I do think the raids and like the rioting is like all very well done and so like much all of a sudden, and it's
Yeah.
very like full throttle, and I think that works better because it's more focused opposed to like a generalized instead of one battle you have like actually, because it's less focused, I take that back. Because it's not just one battle that's supposed to be like this thing. It's like happening all over. It's this big thing that's just like, here's little bits of all these pieces, and it's like, okay, well done. I'll give you that. It's a very exciting finale. Even though I was like, yeah, I don't care how this turns out, but like I'm enjoying literally watching it.
Something that I did like about the end were the implications of like how higher powers and the governments will sort of like ignore things and put them off, and how they become the problems of like minorities and stuff. Just the way that when the riots are happening because they're getting drafted for the Civil War, the way that the townspeople react is to go after not only the rich people, but to go after all the black people in their area, because they're like, well, the only reason we're having a draft is because your lot wants to be free. Like, we're going to take you guys down. And you can see like the parts where the government, like where the government officials are being notified, like, hey, they're going around town and just killing all the black people. And they're like, that's rough. Sorry. Yeah. Probably should let them get it out of their system though, because they're scary and we don't want to die. And then it shows up at their front door, and I enjoyed that. I was like, all right,
That is good.
like everyone is suffering.
And it shows how people everybody's trying to control their piece of the pie, and there are different scales of that pie.
Very true.
It's I think it is a smart movie, but it's like not letting
Meh.
itself be smart. Almost, it's like too focused on being a movie. Like, we got movie stars this time. I think
Look
he
at
did
us
it.
go.
I think he did a little backwards.
Well, there's probably a lot of big studio. There's a lot of money involved in this.
Yeah, definitely. I think he didn't have the easiest time making this movie.
I mean, it took him decades to get it done. This was another one that he lobbied for years, and eventually got it made. But I almost like same with Last Temptation of Christ. It almost feels like it's at a detriment to the movie. It's like maybe you should have let go of this one a little while ago.
Yeah, filming lasted a very long time. It lasted 8 months.
Wow.
It says that I'm just going to read. Due to the strong personalities and clashing visions of director and producer, the 3-year production became a story in and of itself. Scorsese strongly defended his artistic vision on issues of taste and length, while Weinstein fought for a streamlined, more commercial version. During the delays, noted actors as De Niro and Defoe had to leave.
That was in the 80s.
No, this was before
90s?
This was like when they were gearing up to do it.
What?
De Niro and Defoe were set to be in it?
Apparently.
Who was Defoe? And who was De Niro?
I don't know if we're going to be able to just find that.
I thought that I had read that Defoe was supposed to be Bill the Butcher at one point, and De Niro was supposed to be Bill the Butcher at one point.
I don't know. It says that they had to have come and gone. Maybe it was earlier. All right, scratch what I just said. I think things are getting conflated here on the free edited Wikipedia. And then 9/11 definitely messed up its release. Like,
oh, yeah, I found it interesting that they hold on the Twin Towers at the end of this movie. And that, like, evolving shot of New York that, transcends time.
All of us at the end.
How'd you guys feel about that?
It was cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
All of us at the end were like, oh my God, is he going to make the Twin Towers disappear? Is he going to make the Twin Towers disappear? Is that the final evolution of New York? He didn't do it.
I think I would have liked it more if Leo didn't say his line right before it happened, where he's like, they'll be forgotten one day.
Yep.
Or something. It's like you're implying that by your shot already. Like, you don't need to say that. It's fine.
Well, that's what narration is all about.
No, he says that to Diaz, doesn't he?
Yeah, or maybe I don't remember.
They're just at the grave. He buries Bill the Butcher next to Neeson's dad,
Yeah.
or his dad, Liam Neeson, who we had never talked about.
Yep.
It's funny how obsessed Bill the Butcher is with Liam Neeson. He's the last good man I killed.
the last honorable man years ago.
It's just a love story. It's all love stories. They were in love with each other.
Oh my god.
All of Scorsese's movies
You
are love
like
stories of two
me.
men.
You like me?
It's good.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's be blunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be
I'm-
blunt.
I'm
I
okay
feel
here.
bad
We've
for
been
any
blunt.
gangs of New York fans.
Who are you?
I join you. I, Brandon, stand in solidarity.
Give it 3.5.
Solidarity.
Barely being a fan.
For me, it is. For some reason, that's a low rating for you guys.
it's not in the canon.
No. No
I think it's a
canon.
3 on quality and ambition, but in execution and enjoyment.
As you
Two
all
to it.
know, it needs to be unanimous. So, Gangs of New York is not in the chronic canon.
This gang does not get in.
It's fine. You got your New York representation.
You might get another gang in there eventually.
Oh. Mean Streets and
Taxi
what
driver.
Gang? What gang? You talking about Departed?
Irishman.
So is the Departed. They
Yeah.
gangsters in that.
Whatever.
So it's not in the current canon.
And
No.
but if we don't like the battle scenes in this movie, what battle scenes in any movie do we like?
Well, the first thing that pops in my little brain is the scene in Old Boy with the hammer.
Oh, you mean the
Would you call-
hallway
would you
sequence?
Call that a battle scene?
It's certainly a mini battle.
I mean, with a bunch of people and just like an extended fight scene.
Okay, I
But
buy it.
like
I'll buy
I don't
that.
know, I really dug that. And then I like there's a TV show called The Daredevil where they sort of pay homage to it with the same sort of just like a side scrolling camera with no cutting and just like them actually sitting
Side
there.
tracking. Just for
Was that necessary?
didn't you say you want to learn?
I don't want to learn.
Side
close.
scrolling is not the word.
It's for video games. I was bringing video game talking to this. You know what? The side tracking shot in the hallway with no cutting is super cool in the Daredevil, and they make it work.
And oh boy.
And Old Boy is super cool too, with the side tracking shot. In case people really care about that,
I do.
tracking shot. It's
Fair.
tracking,
Oh my god.
not scrolling. That's for 2D platformers only.
Yes, correct.
Tracking is for movies.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What were you thinking of, guys?
I think there's a scene in Gangs of New York that's very
Tracking.
reflective of a movie that comes out a few years later called Anchorman that does it much better.
I said it. That was the first note I took.
Dorothy Man 2, this is safe!
It's like one of the first notes I took. It is Anchorman ? LOL. And I only took 4 more notes before I just stopped, and they were all the opening scene. Oh, I'm glad I looked at this. Don't never look away.
Oh,
is
yeah.
what Liam
he said-
Neeson
yeah.
told his son. That can't be right.
Don't never look away.
Never look away, right? It means you should never look away when someone's dying, is what he's telling him.
Yeah.
Or when you see something painful.
Yeah.
Don't never look away. So do not never look away. So look
Always look.
away?
Look away. Always.
No, that's what he's saying is
Oh.
look away.
Oh.
Well, it's not what he's trying to say, but I think that's what do not never look away. I don't know, man.
You'll never know.
I don't know English. Tyler, help. We know you're listening. Fuck, man. I'll message him. Anchorman definitely fucking fits the bill. When all the gangs show up
Yeah.
and they announce themselves,
Yeah.
we're here.
Luke Wilson has one.
I'm talking in Gangs in New York too.
Oh,
They
I'm
do
I
the
thought you were
same.
talking about Anchorman.
Both.
Yeah.
They do the same.
We're the
fucking
Bowery
thing.
Boys.
Yeah.
The Dud Roberts.
What Channel 4 news team? I don't know. Yeah.
And then
fucking-
in the second one, they try and amp it up and go even
Too
crazier.
much.
Kanye has
Yeah,
one, doesn't
MTV.
he?
Yes, he does.
it's,
So
not, it's
wild.
not good.
No. It was a
Anchorman
bad
2
movie.
definitely falls short, but it's not fucking bad. It gets a bad
kinda
rap.
bad.
But
It's
I
not
think if I'm
bad.
talking about
Anchorman's kinda
like
king.
maybe one of the best battle scenes in like any movie, and I mean I know that I probably should be citing a different movie from this director, but it's the one I've seen most recently. Ron by Akira Kurosawa. That battle scene in that
battle
movie
scene is
like
crazy.
the movie. That's like the highlight. That is the craziest thing that like Kurosawa's
Pick
ever shot.
any Kurosawa movie.
Well, I was gonna say Seven
movie.
Samurai is the one that everyone would probably go, hey.
Kagamusha's got a great one.
Kagemusha does. have a
Actually,
great
Kagamusha
one.
might have
God,
two
I want to
great
see
ones.
all of these.
They're
and
crazy.
Hidden Fortress has a great one. Did you watch that with us?
Yeah, I was there with you
thought
guys.
so.
That was a good one.
That was a great one.
Yeah, they're all
Uh,
good. They're
I-
all good.
if I were
Well, I
being
mean, like all the
if-
big ones.
If
Yes.
I were being annoying,
Except
if I were
overrated.
if I were being a little annoying, I might toss in, the final battle scene from Endgame, or the final battle scene from Infinity
You
War.
want to see one of the movies I have pulled up?
Both of those.
You want to see one of the movies I have pulled up? You're fucking welcome.
Frank the Tank, host of the Canon, has pulled up the Avengers.
Want to know something else? On my little spreadsheet that I haven't looked at or updated in a long time, where it's my own version of the Oscars, I have this movie nominated for Best Editing. I think The Avengers is a beautiful feat of editing. When I saw it in the theater, that's all I remember thinking during that whole end battle scene. I'm like, I know where everyone is, exactly what they're doing, how the stakes are rising, how this is folding. I'm like, expertly done. And then when I saw it 9 more times in a row, I said, fuck this. It's not special anymore.
Never was.
But it right. I don't know. I think The Avengers is beautifully edited at the end. So, fuck you for thinking I'm one-dimensional and you're a piece of shit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What else, Jesse? What else you got?
Other good battle scenes.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh,
I mean, that is crazy.
It's fucking insane.
Dude, my favorite part, if I'm thinking about the correct one, there's the one where they're up in like
Normandy.
No. I'm thinking about the one
end?
at the end when they're getting Ryan.
They're both pretty great.
Yeah.
But I just think about the one between the two soldiers and they're fighting and the knife and the holding it and how he has to slowly kill him. And then the two soldiers pass each other on the steps and they just like share this look and it's like,
I haven't seen that one in years.
Me neither.
keep it moving. I think it was on TV like a couple years ago and I just happened to be like, oh shit, this is definitely something I should have seen by now. So I sat down and watched it. So yeah, the battle scenes in that are absolutely
The Normandy
bonkers.
scene's fucking bananas.
Yeah.
Like, it's very just feat of filmmaking.
It is. It is one of the greatest war sequences like ever filmed.
I also think the rest of the movie literally doesn't compare.
No, it doesn't.
And it's like a problem how good the Normandy thing is. It's like, well, I literally, like, you peaked. I'm done.
Mhm.
I don't need to watch more movie.
I know.
And now I have to sit through this weird drama bullshit.
About Matt Damon.
Sure. Why the fuck not?
Oddly
Vin
enough.
Diesel dies.
That's right.
What about the Shrek scene when he goes to see Lord Farquaad and he has to
Beat up every. That's
beat
more
up-
like a battle.
Yeah.
That's a fight scene. That's not like a battle
when
scene.
Well-
he's beating up all the knights and he's just like basically just
Speaking
running
of
through
what
them.
are essentially de facto battle scenes, what do you think of Heat and Miami Vice in this case?
Do you want to see 2 movies I have pulled up on my list?
Heat and
You
Miami
boys are nailing it.
Vice. Good shit.
Heat and Miami Vice, both on there. The greatest shootouts.
Oh,
Okay,
Heat
the Miami
especially.
the
No,
Miami
Miami
Vice
Vice with
one's
the first, the director, not the director's cut, the theatrical cut.
Theatrical. When
Yes.
is that when there is no music
There's
playing?
no music. It's just
Good.
shooting, and
It's
he
not
adds
the-
music in the director's cut.
It's fucking dumb.
Why would you do that?
Because he's an
man?
idiot.
Man,
He gets lucky. I'm realizing it. Michael Mann's a hack. Fucking hate Heat.
what? You can't go.
You
Oh,
are
yep,
legally not allowed to be on the podcast.
I'm just kidding. You guys fucking love Heat.
Um,
Funniest movie ever made.
Take it back.
Greatest shootout ever done. I love you, Michael Mann. Why didn't you read my script? I also have Hidden Fortress pulled up. What else do I got here? Oh, We Were Soldiers. That's basically a one long war scene, so it
Mel
almost
Gibson.
doesn't count. He's my dad. Loves
I know. I just haven't seen it.
Full Metal Jacket. That scene at the end is what
Yeah,
Wild with the sniper.
That's true.
Paths of Glory.
I thought
Great
about
one.
that. The trench
Running through the
scene.
trench.
Yeah,
Fuck me. That's filmmaking.
it is.
What else I got here? Oh, Lord of the Rings. Neither of you have seen that, but there are 2. Fuck, I don't remember the one in Two Towers. Which one is that? There's the Battle of Helm's Deep. Is that the Two Towers one? And then there's like 2 battles in Return of the King that are fucking.
Which one
lit.
does Mr. I remember at one point Mr. Wood, my English teacher in the 11th grade,
Would love
she
you
was
so much,
showing,
Mr. Wood.
teaching us about something, and he was like, "I just need an excuse. I'm pulling up the scene from Lord of the Rings," and it was like, this gruesome battle intercut with like this just fat ass nobleman just like munching on like mutton and just like eating
That's
up
Return
a
of the
storm.
King.
That's Return of the King.
Yeah.
I just remember him showing us that in class and being like, "This represents blah 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 blah," and I was like, "That was fucking. What is that? Like, what is that in front of
dope.
me?"
It's dope.
So I do want to see it, but the first time like I actually like name dropped, I was like, "Dude, fuck it, let's watch Lord of the Rings." Jesse very casually throughout, he goes, "It's 4 hours." I went, "Ooh, baby." He goes, "If you're gonna watch the director's cut, which you should," and I went, "Ooh, maybe another day. I don't have 4 hours
I've
right
never
now."
seen the director's cut. But yeah, they're all very long. I think they're all 3.5.
Like in the theatrical version.
No, in the director's cut.
No, man.
The theatrical-
We checked.
Theatrical
We
of
checked. I
Fellowship.
have them right
is
there. You want me to grab them?
Yeah. Theatrical of the first two are both 3 on the dot. And the third one is 3 hours and 20 minutes. Theatrical.
Have you seen The Hobbits? Or are you?
I saw the first Hobbit and I said I'm good. I was like, I don't give a shit. I was super into Lord of the Rings as a kid.
Oh.
Like when I was like 8, I saw Return of the King in theaters. And
So
was
it came out too late for you.
Yes. Yeah. By then I was like, I don't give a shit about fucking
All right,
any of
convert
this.
these minutes.
I've also seen Fellowship of the Ring like 30 fucking times because we had it on VHS, and I have only seen Two Towers and Return of the King once all the way through.
Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, 228 minutes.
That's 3 hours and 28 minutes. The theatrical is 3 hours. What are you doing?
180 minutes is
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yep.
It's 228. That's nearly
Oh,
4 hours.
228. I'm sorry. I thought you said 208.
No,
So
220.
yeah, that's 350 or 348.
The Two Towers is 235 minutes.
235. So that's 3 hours and 55 minutes.
And The Return of the King is 263 minutes.
Jesus Christ. So that's 4 hours and 20 minutes. Jesus Christ.
So it's a lot.
So they add like an hour to every.
Yeah.
What are you doing over there?
I took the minutes and divided it by 60.
Yeah, that doesn't help. So he kept showing up number 4.3.
That's how many.
fuck does that
that's
have
how
to
many
do with
hours it is. Technically,
Get the
4.3
fuck
hours.
outta here. You're right. You're literally right. Excuse me. Piece of shit.
So that's it. Those are our
Stupid
favorite
motherfucker.
battle scenes.
I do want to quickly never mind. No, I don't. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you
Game,
fucking
Game
do.
of fucking Thrones. I don't care. The Battle of Winterfell is dope. And then the winter one was also dope. And I don't give a fuck.
I'm only on season 5.
You're on season 5.
Yeah.
He doesn't know about Hodor.
I didn't know you
Hold
were
on.
watching this.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Slowly. It's been
Yeah,
a long time.
Very, very slow. I started.
You haven't even
one-
finished
one season-
Mindhunter.
Well, what do you want from me, Jesse?
What do you mean? It was
I feel-
fucking 2 seasons.
I don't demand much from you.
It's 10 episodes. Not even 10
I
episodes
just
each.
feel like you ask a lot of me cinematically. You know?
All right, whatever, man.
Take a second. Take a
I am
second.
never, you know what? Starting
Think
today,
about how
starting
I
today,
feel.
whenever I watch a movie, never consulting with you. If you want to watch a movie, you got to come to me. That's the way it works. From now on, I'm never asking you, prompting it ever again. Ever.
Okay. You can make it sound like that's
Done.
a threat. That's okay.
It's not a threat.
It'll
not a
actually it'll be helping for curate. If you could send me all the lists that you made special for me so that I can look
I
at
am
them.
deleting every
No,
list.
give them to me.
Now
you
that's
fuck.
the threat. You think I was making a threat?
You know, all these Blu-rays, I'm putting them out. They're not going to be in the
I'm
house.
burning them.
Give me all you got.
Scorch earth.
Give me all you got.
So what do you guys
So
see
I'm gonna say
lately?
it's only been 2 days. Have we recently watched anything?
Yeah, man, I'm on a backlog.
I watched one.
I got so
What
much.
did we watch something
I
yesterday?
watched Young Mr. Lincoln by myself.
Oh wait, we didn't watch anything.
John
yesterday.
Ford's
I fell asleep.
early Lincoln biopic, which we were talking about the trappings of biopics and stuff. I was like, see, this is how you do it. You take the little tiny chunk of their life, you focus on a little intimate portion, you focus on elements of his. Like, I didn't know anything about Anne Rutledge, Lincoln's first love, who died and convinced him to go into law. Like, she's the one, according to the movie anyway, is the one who like talks him into going into law. And there's a really sweet scene where Henry Fonda's Abe Lincoln goes and visits her grave, and he stands at her grave going like, well, I don't know whether I should stay here or go off and, you know, pursue my career in law. And he takes a stick and he stands it up. And he's like, all right, Anne, this stick falls toward you, I'm going away. If it falls toward me, I'm staying here. And then it falls toward the grave, and he's like, well, I guess that settles it, but I suppose I may have pushed it a little.
Aw, that is cute.
It's a really sweet scene. It's a really sweet movie, but it's also like very real. It reminded me a lot of 12 Angry Men, ironically, given Henry Fonda's involvement, where it's like this complicated story of whether or not these two brothers are guilty of murdering this man. And there's most of the movie revolves around the court drama, like, and that being like Lincoln's first big case that he takes on as a lawyer. And there's a lot of scenes that showcase him just as a person and a human. Like, I sent you guys a snap of the scene because I was like, see, this is the
So
shit
funny.
I want in the biopics. It's literally like a full 2 minute long just watching Henry Fonda eat 2 different kinds of pie barehanded, just like, well, no, the apple's pretty good, but this peach, that I don't know. And it's just that for 2 minutes. And I love watching Henry Fonda eat pie and try and debate which one's better. It's great.
I do
Nice.
like watching Henry Fonda pretty much, period.
I've been on a Ford kick. I like John Ford. Good
John
movies.
Ford.
And that's one of his better ones. Good Criterion, great restoration. Check it out if you've never seen Young Mr. Lincoln.
Nice. I'm sure most people have not.
Go, Frank.
L'Argent.
Hey.
Robert
I watched that
Bresson.
relatively recently, too.
Yeah. You didn't use it as one of your things, did you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. L'Argent. Robert
wait.
Bresson's
Did I?
1983 movie. Well, we're plugging it again.
Hey.
I watched it on the Criterion channel.
Pretty sure
You
you
can
did.
rent it on Amazon. I'm not going to go deep into it then. I don't know.
Maybe we did or maybe we
The
didn't.
first 30 minutes, I truthfully thought it was going to be my favorite movie of all time. I thought it was going to happen. It did not end up as my favorite movie of all time, but it ended up as one of them.
Right on.
This movie fucking rules. It's everything. It's called The Money, or is it just Money?
Well, I think it is translated to The Money in English, but I think in French it's just money.
Hmm.
If you're actually, like
It is
breaking
just money,
down. Well, fuck
Even
yeah.
translated.
Fuck
So yeah, the movie's called Money, and that is simply what it is about. You watch we did talk about this, the passing of bills. It's starting to come back to me. I'm like, this is
well,
all
it's just
too
like it's
familiar.
just all the mechanics of it all, and the way that these small, insignificant quote acts end up leading to larger, more tragic.
And
events.
I think if there was any movie that was going to show the dangers of capitalism, it would have to have this completely detached view of the world. And I think Robert Bresson is literally the only director in the history of ever that can truthfully be that detached. Like Haneke.
Well, I definitely
comes
agree
close.
with you on that one.
Get out of here, Paul.
well,
Nobody asked you to be here. This
Why
isn't
not?
Pickpocket.
pickpocket is
No, Pickpocket sucks.
Bresson,
Just kidding. It's okay.
Bresson, and I.
Stop it. Let
Never
me
were
talk
able to
about
exchange.
John. Damn it.
Okay, talk about L'Argent.
It's great. Watch it.
Marshall.
Watch it. It's slow. It
Well,
will
like
not
all
be for
Bresson,
everyone.
and the acting style.
I remember
Bresson.
the first time I watched it, I did find it a little boring after a while. But
It's a
I don't
slow
know.
80 minutes or like
This-
86, whatever it is.
second viewing, it was king shit. It's great. Watch L'Argent. Brandon, what do you got?
So I haven't watched anything recently, but I'm gonna plug a movie that I don't think I'll ever have another chance to plug, and that is Blue Ruin. It is a very interesting movie by a one Jeremy Saulnier.
Saulnier.
He made The Green Room a couple years ago.
Great movie.
That it's pretty intense. R.I.P. to the main actor.
Yeah. Anton
Yelchin.
Yelchin.
Anton Yelchin. But Blue Ruin is basically just about this homeless guy who finds out that his brother has been killed, and basically just goes on this revenge mission. And I'm a big fan of like realistic things in movies, and this movie never tries to pull like any like movie bullshit. Like at one point he gets shot in the arrow and like shot in the leg with an arrow, and like he has to like actually deal with it. Like you see him like, oh, I cannot pull this out. Like I have to give surgery to myself, and like he passes out while doing it. It's a very good movie. So
When was the last time you watched that?
I watched Blue Ruin at the Palace a couple years ago.
The Palace of
Like
What?
2 years, I want to say 2 years ago.
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
good movie.
You seen it?
No, I have not.
I was just gonna say it must
it's
have been
dope.
a long time since Brandon saw it, and the fact that he remembers things so clearly must, prove.
No, it's
the
good.
quality.
It's been like 2 or 3 years since I've seen it, but I just remember at the time, man, like wow, like this is definitely like a realistic take on what like a homeless guy would do. And the opening
Kickstarter.
scene
That
is
was
really
a
really
Kickstarter
cool.
movie.
Nice.
I think
That-
it's better than Green Room.
The opening scene, I like it more than Green Room. Green Room was like intense.
Green Room slaps.
It's good.
It's
movie.
it's cool.
Fuck you.
What? It's cool.
Fuck you. I know your tone. I know your bullshit. Fuck you.
But the opening scene, he's literally like taking a bath, and it's like a nice, relaxing scene. And then you find out he's in someone else's house, and he's gotta like escape before they walk up the stairs.
Yeah,
Super cool. It, like sets the tone for the fucking movie.
yeah.
So, yeah,
I
watch
don't know
Blue Ruin.
how, but they pledged $37,000
Damn,
for Blue Ruin.
that's dope.
How much did it make? Can you look that up for me?
Probably not a lot.
I mean, can't be.
I don't think it even played all that much in theaters.
Just under $1 million is what it made.
Oh, but it only cost $37,000.
No, whoa. The budget was $420,000. That might
Okay.
be with marketing and after it's bought and
Yeah.
Right.
whatever.
Yeah,
But that's the number I'm seeing. Green Room's budget was $5 million.
that makes sense.
But yeah, I never saw his anything after that either.
yeah, that Hold the Dark.
Yeah, I
Never
hear
saw
that
that
movie's
either.
insane.
Really?
There's somebody I would listen to something where there's a whole violent like shootout in the middle of the movie with like a bunch of cops where like dozens of people are killed, and it seems to have like almost nothing to do with anything, and then like the two dudes after just like have a cup of coffee and they're just like, cool. I was just like, what?
Wow.
I kind of want to see that.
All right, interesting.
So
One day.
Jeremy Saulnier,
Jeremy
Saulnier.
Saulnier, yeah.
Blue
Blue
Ruin,
Ruin. Give it a watch.
L'argent,
Young Mr.
and the
Lincoln.
young Mr. Abraham Lincoln, who was a part of Gangs in New York.
Yeah, they do talk about him.
Quite
Bill
a
the
bit.
Butcher throws a knife at his face.
Sure does. And they have a couple cuts where it's just like his face.
Yeah, that's why I kind of thought it was apropos. The day after, morning after Gangs in New York, I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, I guess this is the right time to do this. I'm gonna do Grapes of Wrath next.
I want to see that.
Me too. Very bad.
Yeah, catch us next week talking about planes and shit.
Yeah. Maybe I'm
Planes
pretty
and
psyched.
movies and crazy people.
Maybe not next week.
Well, maybe not next week. There might be a little bit of a break. Frankie
Or
is
there
going
might
into
have-
production on a film.
Yeah. Or there might have
His
been a
film.
break the week before this.
Maybe.
Should we put the break after Bring Out the Dead?
That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So welcome back. Shit, we fucked this up. We didn't talk about it.
We can redo it.
Redo what?
What we just did.
So you can catch us in 2 weeks.
No, next week. Next week for the Aviator.
Yeah.
We should have at the front said like welcome
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Or known during Bring Out the Dead to be like,
Yeah.
none of this matters. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
I'm Frank.
I'm Jesse.
Brandon, goodbye.
Chronic Canon, and bye-bye.
And bye-bye.
And bye-bye.
And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Stupid motherfucker.
Goodbye.